This is Duke University.
Good morning, everybody.
Hello.
Thank you to the early risers for being here. My name is Chris Berry.
And I'm Marjan Golban, and we are co-chairs of the 2016 Duke University Energy Conference.
And it's really exciting to have you guys here today. It's the 8th annual conference that we've had, and we're really excited about the lineup that we have.
We're lucky to be able to attend an institution that offers such a breadth and depth of energy opportunities, from classes to guest speakers to research to experiential learning practicums. Duke has got it all.
And with the conference, and this year starting this year with our inaugural Energy Week, there are a number of unique opportunities that we have on campus, and we're really glad to be able to share those with you this week.
Our lineup of speakers today is absolutely fantastic. We're so excited to share that with you.
But more, just as important is this day would not have been possible without our great sponsors. We'd like to thank them by name. Our gold sponsors, in alphabetical order: Duke Energy, Next Era Energy Resources, NRG, Scott Madden and Siemens, and our silver sponsors, Chevron, Exelon, and ExxonMobil. And we'd also like to thank our partners, without whom we would not have been able to execute this day. The Duke MBA Energy Club, Fuqua's Edge Center, the Duke University Energy Initiative, the Research Triangle Clean Tech Cluster, who's sponsoring the networking lunch, as well as energy clubs at the undergrad level at Trinity, the Nicholas School for the Environment, the Pratt School of Engineering, and as well as the Sanford School of Public Policy.
Finally, we'd like to thank all the people on our team. Without their hard work and dedication, today would not be possible. So I'm gonna name some names, and if you could all hold your applause to the very end. Please stand up if you served on the conference planning team and stay standing.
Probably still all outside working.
They're actually still outside. Please stand up if you serve on the MBA Energy Club cabinet and stay standing. I know some of you are standing in the back there. Please stand up if you were part of the team that made Energy Week possible and stay standing. Yeah, there's more of you now.
Thanks so much, guys.
Let's give them all a round of applause. And now, without further ado, we are so honored to be able to introduce the president of Duke University, Richard Brodhead, to officially open the conference.
Thank you. Who's my
There you go.
They were so bold to do this without a podium or the benefit of notes that I feel the competitor in me desires to attempt to do the same. So let me just say, I was asked if I would come say a word at the beginning of this conference, and my thought was I wouldn't dream of not doing that. I think of this conference as an example of the best and most important kind of work that is done at a university. And if I were to try to explain to myself why I think that, I'd start this way. I went to a talk some years ago where an engineer from Colorado named Bernard Amadei, you may know him, one of the founders of the group called Engineers Without Borders, he gave a quote from Einstein. No one has ever been able to find the source of this quote from Einstein, and I've seen it translated about 14 different ways. But here's the version I remember. The great problems that afflict us will not be solved at the same level of intelligence we were at when we created them. Well, not funny, but not funny. And it seems to me, if you thought of the meaning of that line, energy would provide a classic place to understand it. There's no source of energy or use of energy for humans that did not begin with an act of human intelligence. We may have sources of energy in nature, but nature doesn't supply energy. The sources have to be harvested, gathered, controlled, distributed, stored, all those different things. And so you'll remember that in Greek mythology, one of the most famous figures was Prometheus, the person who stole fire from the gods to give it to humanity. humanity. So this would have something to do with human intellect, human control over the sources of energy, and really go through all the sources of energy. And you can think of this. Last weekend, I drove within 5 or 10 miles of the first water-powered factory site in America, Slater's Mill. And you remember when you studied the Industrial Revolution? Someone who figured out how water power could be used to drive the production line of a textile factory, the whole basis of the Industrial Revolution in early 19th century America. If we think of when oil was discovered, and historically minded people know where the first oil well was erected in western Pennsylvania in the late 1850s. But of course, it's not just like you found oil and the energy problem was solved. You had to figure out how to refine it, how to distribute it, how to afford it, how to market it in preference to other things, how to find secondary uses for it, all those kinds of things. So the history of human energy is the history of intelligence used on the materials of nature to solve the needs of humankind. And we all know, everyone in this room knows it, that every advance in productivity and every advance in quality of life in the history of humanity has required increasing supplies of energy. And no doubt there are people on this earth who want to continue to advance in productivity and quality of life. And you know that if their dreams come true, and all of us must wish this to be true, that they will need more and more and more energy. And so when you look at a graph like the graph of China energy use, between 1990 and 2000, it goes up some, but not that much. But between 2001 and 2011, or now, it just goes up. People getting access to higher quality of education, higher quality of employment, higher quality of wages, immediately need more energy to make the economy work, and then to get the things that make life good that follow from that. And all this would be fine if it weren't the case that the sources of energy that we're most dependent on bring us all the benefits that they bring us, together with various costs of environmental depredation. You know that coal used to be mined underground, but then it was safer for miners to mine it above ground, and so that means that now you have the whole new levels of environmental despoliation that have arisen from that. If we think of everything we know about the climate and our growing understanding of the relation of human energy addictions to climate change, so we are in the horns of this dilemma. We can't not live with energy. We need more people to have access to the things in life that require more energy, and yet the more energy we use, the more we get the downsides or the entrapments of energy use together with the upsides. And so you get to that point and you pause, and then it seems to you remember that quote from the beginning. The problems that afflict humanity will not be solved at the same level of intelligence that we were at when we created them. It's not that these problems are insoluble, but they won't be solved by evolving the status quo. They'll be solved by jolts of intelligence being applied to the subject of energy. And this will mean jolts of intelligence about sources of energy, about storage of energy, about distribution of energy, about persuading publics about the care with which we could use energy sources, all of these kinds of things. I get that far, and then I say to myself, why is it so fun to be in a university? And I suppose the answer is because the harder the question is, the more universities are going to be places where you can find groups of people who are going to be likely to help with those problems. A university like Duke, by definition, it's a community of super smart people. The kind of person who comes to Duke as a student doesn't just want to get good grades in their program. They want to use their mind consequentially. The harder the question, the more fun the challenge of using your intellect on that. So you have that kind of spirit, a problem-solving oriented use of intelligence at a university where all the schools are physically right proximate to one another and the barriers between them are very low. So the very high degree of collaboration among possible problem solvers in business, in engineering, in policy, in the law school. Who have I left out? No doubt the Divinity School is represented in this room. Certainly it should be. And so you have it. And so you know the kind of programs that have thrived here. I see Brian Murray, the head of the Energy Initiative. This is an initiative not of one school, but at the confluence of every school and of all the external partners who you've partnered with in trying to understand better solutions to environmental and energy issues. Or I hope you know about the program created in the last 4 or 5 years called the Bass Connections, in which Duke has aspired to create a curriculum based not just on disciplines, economics, philosophy, biology, but on problems, a curriculum in health, a curriculum in information, a curriculum in energy. And my information, I think I had it from you, so don't shake your head like this, because you're the footnotes, is that I was told that last year, or maybe at the beginning of this year, we have 1,500 students at this campus in 6 schools and the undergraduate school enrolled in energy classes. And the nature of the BASS program is, if you're interested in what you studied, you can then step forward into one of these problem-solving teams in areas where you can use your mind trying to answer questions to which the answer is not known now and may be created by you and your teammates. There's one more thing a university has, and I think that's what we see today. You've got a community of intelligence, a community of intellect of people who want to use their mind consequentially, partner easily with others, which we know is essential in this area. But then universities are natural conveners. When we send out invitations to people, they tend to accept them. The last time I stood up here was with Ben Bernanke, who hadn't spoken at a university for months, but he came to Duke. And so now today we have people from, well, I'm seeing the head of ARPA-E. Ellen, so happy to have you here. And I know the people we have coming from NRG and from Siemens and from General Motors and from Enernoc and all the others who are coming. You know who these people were? They were you 5 years ago. I say this to students, or they were you 15 years ago. They were the whippersnapper who wanted not to go to work for someone, but to go to work on a problem, either recreating an existing industry or in a business of their own creation. So today we are bringing together, this is, it's called a conference, but what it really is a convening of intelligence, all different kinds from all different sources, inside the academy, outside the academy, all different industry points of view. And of course, the whole point is, if you come up with the solution to the problem of energy by 5 o'clock, I hope you will call and tell me what the correct answer was. But we know it's not the nature of hard problems that they're solved by single acts. They're solved by the creation of continuing communities of intelligence, intellect, inventiveness, imagination, and that's the kind of event that we host here today. I wish you a splendid conference. I wish it were in my power to cancel everything I'm doing today and come and participate, but I see some people here who can tell me what I missed. So anyway, thanks to all of you for being part of it. Thanks.